It is our hope and intention that this recording will become a living memory and permanent record of history in the making during our lifetime, and an inspiration to future generations.
Hey folks, Rob here. Welcome to the Thank You Rob Podcast. In case you're checking us out for the first time, this is actually the first time in a long time that I've done this. So, very special reason. I got Blimes, who's a rapper from San Francisco. She's incredible. I'm a big fan, and I was really honored to be able to have an interview with her. So, I also have a YouTube series called Unbox, where I unbox and open albums of artists that I really like, and Blimes is one of the episodes, and that's kind of how we linked up. And let's get into it here. Here's Blimes. So Blimes, thank you for doing this. Greatly appreciated. I don't know if you're familiar. I used to do a podcast, and I know I've kind of chewed your ear off in some way about it on Instagram, but I ended the podcast 3 times. This is the third. Well, actually, it's 2 times. This is the 3rd time I've picked it back again for the 3rd time.
I definitely
Let's call it that.
Good for you, especially with these creative endeavors. Like we really, really have to push ourselves to continue to do it, especially as the platforms for the art that we're producing become more and more paywalled and more and more hard, more and more give us more and more challenges to reach our audiences. So it just gets increasingly frustrating for artists, and I have to salute you for keeping one foot in front of the other and going.
And we're going to get into exactly what you're talking about right now, but let's start from the beginning, because I love the way that you're very positive. Have you always been that way? You always been have such a positive attitude?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just know what it feels like to not be accepted. And so I definitely strive to create an environment where people feel seen and heard and appreciated for their strengths, rather than, an environment where we're picking situations and people apart. And I think because of that, I kind of just tend to do it with life. I apply that to life in general. Okay, where can I find the message in this? Where can I find the gratitude in this? Where can I find the nugget of gold within, the storm, kind of, so to speak, or within the rocks, so to speak. And so I think it applies there. I think I deeply know how terrible it feels to be judged for either something you can't control or something that you don't know how to change. And so I just want to create environments where people feel good and loved. And
that's
accepted,
beautiful. That is beautiful.
So yeah, I think it has been within me forever. And shouts out to my parents. They're both really positive people.
Yeah.
So my dad's a musician, and he loves his life because he gets to play music every day of his life, and that's what he does. And, he's had to make other sacrifices because of it, but he's a positive dude because he's fulfilling his purpose and his dream. My mom, also a pretty positive person, and just really always inspired me to go out in the world and do something nice for someone today. I remember leaving
positivity
the house.
is contagious.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Do something nice for someone today.
Yeah.
Every time I left the house was be safe, make good decisions, and do something nice for someone. So that just stuck with me. It was all right, pass it on.
Right.
Pass it on. And if we all passed it on, we would be
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's start from the beginning here. So
Sure.
I'm coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota. You're live in San Francisco right now, the home of the hippie movement.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I'm actually in San Diego currently.
Oh, you're in San. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am. I have taken a sabbatical, San Diego sabbatical year. I was in Los Angeles for the last 13 years, chasing the dream. live in the grind. And this year I was really looking for a bit of a I was looking for a bit of a nervous system vacation relief.
Sure.
Like LA is we're in our cars like 75% of our
Right.
lives, I feel like, in LA. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I changed the pace and I moved to San Diego for a year,
Yeah.
and I've
That's
been here for
definitely
a
a
year.
change of pace.
Yeah,
Let
but
me tell
yes.
you. So I was probably 3 years ago. My family and I, we took a trip. We flew into Vegas and we rented a car, drove to San Diego through the desert. Now this was right after the pandemic, right when things opened. Luckily, California had just opened up. Like that was a total gamble, and we got very lucky. But so we drove into San Diego, was there for about 2 or 3 days, and then we drove to. Uh, I'm trying to put this in my head on a map. Is it San Francisco before LA, or is LA if you're
No,
heading north?
San Francisco is quite a bit north. It's about
Okay,
an 8-hour drive from here.
okay,
So you have like the big cities you probably have are like, so Tijuana is in Mexico right below
yep,
us here in San Diego. So you have Tijuana and Rosarito, and then you have San Diego. And then you go on up, you have like you have like your Laguna beaches and your Newport Beach and
yep.
your Orange County and Oceanside. Um, One of my favorites right now, Obed Padilla. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's really dope. He's out of Oceanside. He's really, really sick. And then another artist that I love, Adam Flowers. I'm gonna continue to put on artists that I love because just
Absolutely,
just like you, Rob, I really value being able to find good new music and
100%.
fresh,
Yeah,
smaller artists that feel good. So Obed Padilla, Adam Flowers, they're both from like the Oceanside, Vista, California area. And then you go up to Los Angeles, you got Los Angeles. And then on your way up from Los Angeles, you've got like Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, if you're taking the coastline, all the way up. If so you got Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, Monterey, that whole area, and then you get to San Francisco, 6 hours north of Los Angeles.
okay.
And then you got so much more California above that. It's a huge state. It's so
Yeah,
long,
yeah,
but it's vast. You have your options. You have desert, you have mountains, you have redwoods, you have snow, you have beaches.
right.
It's cool.
Yeah, the one thing we
Cool.
didn't experience was seeing the redwoods, which is something we regret. So we got to go back at some point. And by the way, we love California. I had
Nice.
never seen the Pacific Ocean. So I wasn't until in my 40s I saw the Pacific Ocean.
Wow,
But
that must have
California is
been. I
just
just got
just
goosebumps.
beautiful. Just
Yeah,
beautiful.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
That must have been a hell of an experience.
And let me tell you, San Francisco was the highlight of the trip for me.
Dope,
I got a buddy that I grew up with out here that moved back. He's got family in Cali and Oakland specifically. So
dope.
he's been living there for like the last 15 years. He took me to an Oakland A's uh, Giants game
Oh,
in
that's
San
awesome. Battle of
Francisco.
the Bay.
Oh yeah, it was Battle of the Bay. Yep, and it was just so fun. We
That's
rented those
amazing.
electric scooters. I know people don't really care for those, but uh, a hell of a time. I got drunk and was driving on those things. Probably pretty dangerous. I don't condone it. Don't do it. But it was a good time. It was a real good time. And just revisiting a friend and catching up, and it was a good time. Couldn't even
Oh,
tell you
I'm so
anything that
glad.
happened in that baseball game, but
Yeah,
had a good time.
baseball is good for catching up with friends.
Yeah, so
You
slow.
you don't miss too much of the game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, but that I'm so glad that the Bay Area treated you right. I love Oakland. I love I grew up in San Francisco. That's correct. I
Hmm.
know that that's why we were starting at the beginning. I did grow up in San Francisco, spent a lot of time in Oakland, especially in high school. Um, I had so many friends in Oakland and Berkeley. My best, closest friends or people I was dating lived over there, and making music with lived over there. I started making music and hip hop music very young, so I was always collaborating and idolizing some artists, out of Oakland. So I spent a lot of time there.
Tell me some of those artists that you idolized or influenced you, rather.
That influenced me.
Yeah.
Um, I really was into. I'm influenced by my peers,
Hmm.
honestly, and when I was younger, we all have to have our introduction, our the artists that make us go, dang, I want to try this,
Hmm. Hmm.
this is really dope. So like probably early on was like The Roots. I really loved The Roots. Black Thought is a hell of an MC.
Hmm.
Um Questlove. just an amazing artist all around. Super influenced by them. Love Jurassic 5. Charlie Tuna has become a
J5.
friend. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Charlie Tuna's voice is so distinct, and
Oh,
I love that.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Like,
Can I sidebar for a minute?
yeah, of course.
I got a good J5 story. I don't know if you know this, that Charlie Tuna is a part of well, they did like this kids hip hop album. Are you familiar with this? Called the Dino 5.
No.
It was like perfect early mid 2000s, probably late 2000, almost 2010ish. Now that I'm thinking about it, because my firstborn was pretty young at the time. And it was like a kid's hip hop album, but not like a cheesy one, but still like good enough to be like, this is decent. You can bump it in the car, and the kids love
Dope.
it. And so Charlie Tuna was one of the rappers on there, and Ladybug from Diggable Planets was one of them.
Wow.
And it's just they only did one album, and it's just so perfect.
That's so dope.
Yeah, and yeah,
Oh my
Charlie Tuna's
gosh.
voice is just unmistakable.
Is
Yeah,
that on streaming? Because that
I
would
don't
kill.
know.
That
Yeah,
would kill on streaming.
yeah,
I would do so well. I feel like when I spend a lot of time with kids. I worked in early childhood development for many years, and I just enjoy the kind of adventurousness that they bring out of you, that
yeah.
they remind you to practice. So I spend a lot of time with kids, nieces, nephews. I work with kids after school programs, etc. And I always want to play, songs for them. So I go on to Spotify or whatever platform I'm using, and there aren't that many options, or I don't know where to start.
Mhm.
There's the Snoop Dogg
Yeah, yeah.
kids songs that are
Yep.
really, really awesome and really powerful. But then there's like I go to look for like freeze dance, and like all the songs sound exactly the same. And I'm like, we need more variation. Also, the parents have to be able to tolerate the music. So
Yeah,
J5 was on it. That is so dope. I can't wait
yeah.
to check that out.
Yeah, there's a good start too is if you want to introduce kids to Wu-Tang.
Hmm.
Uh, they have an edited version of Enter the 36 Chambers, and all the cuss words are replaced by, and that honestly an inspiration to me. That's why, like in my videos, I cut out cuss words. I guess just even though the content isn't directly for kids, but just to make it more universal. If a kid stumbles upon one of my videos, they can watch it. And I know as a parent, you're like, "What the hell are you watching?" You know,
Right. Right.
sometimes whatever. But yeah, the whole 36 Chambers album is all the cuss words are edited out with like swords being drawn and like
Sick.
punch sounds and kung fu sounds. And it's
Dope.
just uh, a good way to introduce them to just one of the most iconic rap albums of all time.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna look into that.
Look into
Both
that.
Dino
Dino
5
5,
and
36 Chambers
36
edited.
Chambers edited. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that. That's
yeah.
awesome. I can't wait to check it out. But
So continue.
yeah,
You were saying some of you're inspired by your peers.
yeah. So, those are the early ons. Like those are like my first time hearing hip hop was like Eminem, Dr. Dre, Jurassic 5, The Roots,
The Roots, yeah.
also Black Alicious, out of Oakland, California. Um, God, the alphabet aerobics had me in a chokehold. Oh my God, I was obsessed. I learned that thing front to back.
Yeah.
Um,
So is
s-
living in the Bay Area where you're not like hit hard with like the E40s and that
yes,
hyphy
definitely,
movement? Oh, okay,
definitely.
okay,
So, but that's when I got a little older. So
sure.
really young days. Like I'm talking like elementary school. These were the rappers that I was listening
Right,
to.
right.
And I think outside of that, I remember Bling Bling being a huge hit
Bling
by,
bling.
yeah, was that Master P, I believe.
One of
So
those
that one
guys.
that one was in my ears at like in fourth grade. I loved it. But yeah, moving on. Oh, and TLC. Oh, first grade, I
DLC.
learned Waterfalls by TLC when I was 6 years old. And that song, whoo, I got to give my flowers to TLC because
Yeah.
they're incredible artists.
Hmm.
And moving on, when I say my peers, there was this group called Go Dave, and they were in high school, and I was in high school, and they were making music and music videos and putting out records and wearing clothes and inspiring fashion in a way that like made its rounds through the whole Bay Area. And I was like, these kids are my age and they have it together. They're a group.
Hmm.
They've got a producer, Nick Nack, who has gone on to produce number one records, a lot of hit records today. You got Sugar Butter, who to this day is probably my favorite rapper, and I believe he stopped rapping after that. He never did like a solo career. He was just in this group called Go Dave. They had this single called Ride or Die Chick. There's this like R&B singer. Dang, his name. Proof, I believe. Nope, that was one of the rappers. His name is escaping me right now, but you my ride or die chick for me, or ride or die. I look in your eyes. Anyways, anyone in the Bay Area that was anyone in the Bay Area at that time could have probably recited and sang that
Sure.
song. That was exactly what I'm saying. So it was just these high school kids that were doing it, and the pack was also. Do you remember that song? Got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. Got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. Did that make it out to the Midwest?
Didn't make it here. Not to me at
Okay.
least. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The pack had a song called Vans,
Back.
and that was big. They were also high schoolers, so I was just like
Okay.
very inspired by that.
Yeah, yeah.
And and then I caught wind of a dude from San Francisco named A1, Adam. And he moved out to New York from the Bay. I mean, he was going to school out there, but his bars are, God, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. His bars are beyond comprehension to me because he has so flawlessly he's able to talk about political topics
Hmm.
and keep it cool and
Hmm.
keep it fresh and keep it player. Like so dope to be able to do all those things and not be like corny,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
about it or like hitting you over the head with the
Sure.
information. I believe this man's music could change the world, and I hope that he's able to reach far more people. The artist thing, that I witnessed in him, we're friends now. We have records together. He was on my first three albums. I love him so much. We become closer in our older years, but I so many artists just have a hard time staying consistent.
Hmm.
And I struggle with the same thing because we have to survive,
Hmm.
so we're just like pop out every once in a while, but that's volume is what's needed for financial consistency in
Yeah,
this game. And
yeah.
if you're not able to pump out volume, you're not able to stay consistent, you're getting out of the cycle of produce, drop, tour, merch, produce, drop, tour, merch. That's the cycle that feeds an artist financially. If you're not
Hmm.
able to consistently do that, you don't have an income. Um, outside of sync licensing is good and is a great way to earn money. So I've witnessed that in him, and I want him to make it so far. I'm so proud
Hmm.
of him. He's an incredible artist. So if anybody is looking for some really, really amazing music, A1. Some amazing rap music. He's an incredible rapper, A1, out
It
of San
sounds
Francisco.
similar to something like a Brother Ali in a way,
Yeah.
where kind of some might call it preachy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess as I get older,
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, music like somebody's music like that, who's I'm an atheist. It's like
Mm-hmm.
his music speaks to me still. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, he can cut through, he can transcend kind of beliefs
yeah,
and genre and just
that's
talk
crazy.
human to
It's not just
human.
him. There's artists like Kid Cudi's another favorite of mine. I don't know if you get
Mm-hmm.
into Kid Cudi, but
Yeah.
uh, his ability to like talk about mental health topics, which are important, normalizing that kind of stuff that people
Mm-hmm.
should be talking about, and
Totally.
just making it fun music still.
Yeah, I love when artists are able to be vulnerable, and I think that's what
Yeah,
so
and you
many
do that
people.
too sometimes,
Thank
at
you.
times.
And I think that I was really inspired by like the Kendrick Lamars of today, like
Hmm.
who just talk vulnerably about the topics that they struggle with, I believe when Swimming Pools came out by Kendrick, I was like, so we don't have to be braggadocious?
Right.
Oh, snap. You mean I could be myself
Hmm.
and make rap music? Oh, this is absolutely groundbreaking for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's really when I dug into the vulnerability, like the space to be vulnerable with
Sure.
my music. So shout out to Kendrick for that.
Yeah.
Kanye West was a big influence of mine, huge influence of mine. I remember him talking in an interview and saying, I wear pink and I rock my Louis Vuitton backpack and people call me gay. And I say, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. This is who
Hmm.
I am. Um, and I was like, if Kanye, he wasn't this like super masculine, thugged out rapper,
Hmm.
and like he was just himself. Um, and I was very inspired by that. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, if Kanye could do it, I could do it. Like this is really
Mayonnaise
dope. So
colored bands. He pushes
yeah.
miracle whips.
That's probably my favorite bar. Probably
Yeah.
my favorite, one of my favorite bars. There's and listening to it as an adult, I didn't realize how much social commentary is in his music.
Yeah.
Obviously, with like Jesus Walks, that one was like nail on the head.
Hmm.
But damn, I listened to College Dropout front to back the other day, and he's God tier. He's so incredible.
First
What an
his
amazing.
first five albums, I
Yeah.
think up through Yeezus is where
Yeah.
I'm yeah totally on board.
Which is an interesting topic because, and I know we're jumping all over the place, so we'll get back into like
Welcome to
the
my
regularly
podcast.
the regularly scheduled program.
Yeah,
Hey, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that.
like your positivity now, looking
Hmm.
back at you came up through like the battle rapper scene,
Hmm.
and I know in an interview you said something about how it's really just throwing daggers at each other and just insulting each other, and that's really not what you're about.
Totally.
But it put you on the map. I mean, I didn't know about you at that point, but I went back and watched some of the videos, and I watched one where you were going up against Coco McPuffington, which
Yeah,
is a great name, I gotta say, Coco McPuffington.
I
But
agree. It rolls off
and
the
you
tongue.
did you kill you do,
Thank you.
and but yeah, at the same time, I'm watching that and I'm like, ooh, that's just insult after insult, and
Yeah,
it's just basically like a rap roast is what it is, you know.
yeah. It starts to get under your skin, and honestly, like, and thanks for going back and watching those. Those are when I watch those, I'm like, that's a completely different person,
Hmm.
in those videos, and there's so many things as like more self-aware human being now I would have changed, but it shows growth. being being in the public eye is so interesting because you get this absolutely in-depth scrutinizing look at who you are at all
Hmm.
stages of lives, and it's there forever. But yeah, being in the battle rap scene, it does start to get under your skin, but I wouldn't say as much what your opponents are saying to you, because that you've made an agreement. You've made like a conscious agreement with each other that this is a sport. We're gonna
Hmm.
go in, we're gonna wrestle each other verbally. That's what we agreed to do. We're gonna shake hands at the end and say good day, if
Hmm.
nothing goes sideways, if nothing goes too sideways.
Right, right.
And um,
Did things
but
ever go sideways?
not for me, no,
No,
but I've
okay.
seen it in
Yeah,
person.
right,
Yeah,
right,
I've seen
right.
fights break out, and
Sure.
I've seen people lose their shit for sure. And
Hmm. Take it a little too
there's been
personally.
totally, and there's been times that I
Yeah.
wanted to lose my shit. There's been times that I was like, this is absolutely unfair and this is bullshit, and my opponent's acting like a child. Like, I battled a certain male battle rapper at a certain hip hop festival a while back, and he was yelling to the audience during my rounds. It was like the most, and he was farther along in his battle rap career, and much more well known than I was.
Hmm.
And I was like, you don't even need the leg up. Why are you, like, why are you, in my eyes, I was
He
like,
was
this
scared.
man,
You had him shook.
I mean, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I believe he wanted to win. I believe he did not want to lose to a girl. And so he resorted to like unfair methods. But there was moments that my opponents did get under my skin, but it wasn't with the words that we were throwing around. It was with the actions, and it
Hmm.
was with, like, I respect this person. I didn't expect that from you. But what gets under my skin the most and what drove me to walk away from battle rap, um, two things. One, um, it wasn't myself. It wasn't me. It was an act. It was like, I'm acting on this stage. I am portraying a much bigger bravado, badass, version of myself, talking about things that I don't really do,
Hmm.
and ripping people apart, which is something I don't really do. But two, what got under my skin the most was you're battling the entire internet. Like, when you step into that arena, everyone online thinks that because this is the way you're talking to your opponent and your opponent is talking to you, that they can say anything that they want about you. So as hard as I try not to read the comments, like, sometimes something sometimes a mention gets to you, and
Hmm.
something makes it through. And I was younger, so I didn't really have that much self-control, and I would read it. And I was just like, this is really belittling and like tearing my spirit apart. On top of that, not only are you battling the internet and your opponent, but you have to predict everything that this person's going to say about you. So you are then battling yourself. And that was like, mm, damn, there are things about myself that I hate, that I despise. And I have to keep looking at those over and over and over again if I'm going to keep battling. Um, so I walked away. I also didn't really like some of the choices that were being made in the leagues that I was in, some political choices, some sexist choices, and I was just like, this isn't for me. I don't need to spend a month of my time stressing over this big battle and,
Sure.
losing sleep. I would rather make music with people that I enjoy making music with. However, you're right. It did earn me some stripes,
Right.
and it did change my courage forever. If you can walk into a room in the Bronx and, you know, potentially be the only white girl or the only queer person or, the only whatever, whoever you are, you can walk into a room and get on a stage full of people and give something your all, then you can probably do almost anything that
Hmm.
you put your mind to.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it definitely gave me courage and it definitely earned me some stripes, especially in the world of hip hop. People are like, okay, you've held your own. You're not just mushy gushy flapping your wings talking about who you are all the time. You've actually given time and knowledge or sorry, time and effort to increasing your skill set and your knowledge of the game by participating in the sport that is battle rap.
Hmm. And now it's because of that Method Man discovered you,
Yes.
came
Yeah, yeah,
across
yeah.
you,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Meth is a huge battle rap fan. I guess he would watch a lot of them. Um, I also heard that Jay-Z watches battle raps all the time. So interesting how mysterious somebody like Jay-Z is. It's not like he's tweeting about that.
Right.
It's not like he's tweeting almost anything. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I had heard through the grapevine that Method Man was a fan, and I thought people were messing with me. I thought
Hmm.
maybe like somebody was setting me up for like a punchline in a battle, you know? Like I
Right.
I can't believe you thought Method Man was a fan,
Yeah.
like something like that. But so I kind of brushed it off the multiple times that I heard that. And then he did a Power 106 radio interview in LA talking about his upcoming TV show back then, which was Drop the Mic on TBS. And he was like, "These are my favorite battle rappers," and he dropped my name, and I was like, "Oh, there's the proof. I can't change that. Or you can't deny that." The people, his producers of the show, ended up reaching out to me, and they hired real battle rappers to come in and coach the celebrity battle rappers on the show. So I got
Okay.
to go for a few episodes and coach some celebrities, Lil Rel Howery. Yeah, yeah, just I got to coach some battle rappers. Mark Cuban, Mark Cuban was one.
Oh,
Um,
really? Damn.
yeah, yeah, it was amazing. Boy George was one that I encountered. I didn't get to coach Boy George, but I
Hmm.
encountered him because I believe that like you got the opportunity or these people like let the show know if they wanted coaching or not. So
Sure,
like
sure.
I think Boy George was like on his privacy tip. But it was incredible. And so I got to meet Meth, and he was like, if you ever need anything, let me know. Like he said, word is bond. You make good music, and not a lot of battle rappers make good music. The first time I ever met him, he was, singing one of my songs. But yeah, it was at a tough time for me in life. So it was truly a sign from power greater than myself that I had to keep going. So I
Hmm.
truly, at that time, considered giving up on music and finding a more stable career path. But the cosign from Method Man and him expressing that he wanted to make music with me kind of reinstilled this idea that like, if you're good at something and you love it, don't give it up.
Hmm.
Just keep going. So that was definitely the affirmation that I needed from
Hmm.
one of the greatest of all time,
Absolutely.
Method Man himself.
That's a
To
hell of a cosign.
Truly, I'm honored, and he's been the most. I can't even speak highly enough about what a mentor he's been.
Hmm.
Just makes himself available, responds to my texts with videos every time.
Nice.
Um, I've reached out to, pay him royalties, and he's always said, put it back to the music, and I'm just forever grateful.
Nice.
He believed in me. He said he would do something about it, and he did. So it's really taught me to keep my word, um, to not overextend, to follow through with the things that I say that I'm going to do, and to always stay humble and hungry and looking for new talent and learning from them because I think something incredible about Method Man is he can write a verse today that holds its own with the artists of today. you know? And like that's because he's keeping his eye on the new talent and because he loves what he does. He loves hip hop. He
He
loves this
stays
shit. And I
hungry.
totally and I love
Yeah.
this for the rest of my life. I will never stop listening to hip hop. So
Have you
like
have you heard, by the way, him, Raekwon, and Redman just did that Red Bull freestyle? Did you see
I
that?
did. Yeah,
And he kills
immediately.
it.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane
Uh,
bars.
for the longest time, people have put Redman, like Eminem. Redman's one of his favorite rappers of all time, but Method Man is like, dang, he's been bringing it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's letting us all know that he will continue to, and he will
Yeah.
not stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, battling on the schoolyard in San Francisco, starting at age 12, and then doing that again in, parties and backyards in high school and into college. I went to community college in Santa Cruz, and battling there, um, eventually led me to battle on Grind Time and meet, meet the eyes of people watching, such as Method Man.
Hmm.
And that, yeah, that cosign was huge. Then in the interim, while I was making a record, because Method Man at that time when I met him was like, "Let me know if you want to do a record together, or you need me to hype you up at a show or carry some equipment." And he was like, "I got you." You might have heard it. The voicemail that he left me is on my album Castles, where Hot Damn
Hmm.
the record is, and he, with his permission, I put that voicemail on my album. But he meant it, and so I followed up with him. I sent him two records. Um, the first record was a little more modern and angry, and he was like, "That sounds personal." The second record, I knew he was gonna pick this one, was
Hmm.
Hot Damn, and he
Yeah.
sent me his verse in like 3 weeks. But yeah, he followed through 100% with his
And even
word,
did
and
the video too.
he did the video. He
That's a
called me
hell of
when
a
he was in
cosign.
LA. Insane. He called me
Yeah.
when he was in LA again, and he was like, "Hey, you need anything while I'm here?" And I
Hmm.
was like, "Can we shoot the video?" And I was on the East Coast. I was driving the tour bus for my dad's band, one of my many side hustles. And I flew home. I was like, "Yes, I do. I would like to shoot the video. Let's get it." So I
Hmm.
immediately flew home, gathered every resource that I possibly could find, and we shot the video. Everyone came out, everyone came out,
Hmm.
everyone showed up, and it was just a testament to the network that I've built and the incredible people that are involved in hip hop. And when you need
Hmm.
something, and you need something, and you've treated people with respect, and they are going to respect you, and everything came together.
Hmm.
I think out of pocket, that video looks like it's a $30,000 video, and I think we ended up spending like $1,000 to make that video happen.
Yeah.
Everyone came together. But in the meantime, before putting out that song, Gifted Gab and I got together and we made this back and forth bars track on a fluke, a random night in Seattle when I happened to be in town working on a documentary, one of the many side hustles. There's so many side hustles, the list goes on. I was in town working on a documentary and I was like, Gab, I'm here. You want to get together and make a record? And we practically freestyled this record called Come Correct. And like put zero effort, almost zero effort into it. And then the next time I was in town, we shot the video in which we put almost zero effort. We did it in 2 hours. We called one of our friends.
Hmm.
We had no budget. We just threw it together. He edited it. It was very simple. And before the Method Man record came out, Gab and I dropped the video to this song. We had no idea what was going to happen. None whatsoever. We dropped it on a Friday night at 8 p.m., which is marketing suicide. And the next morning I woke up and my phone was broken, essentially.
Hmm.
It was over stimulated. I couldn't open Twitter. I couldn't open my apps because I had too many notifications. The song went
Hmm.
viral overnight. I think by like Sunday morning, we had accumulated like 10 million views on Facebook on one video reposting of it on Facebook. So I was sitting on this record from Method Man thinking, oh my God, people have like I'm sitting on gold. And little did
Hmm.
I know, there was
You already
already
had gold.
gold. There was already
Yeah.
gold right there.
Yeah.
And so Gifted Gab and I accidentally became a group with that one. All the as opportunities came in for us together as a duo. So we
Hmm.
just decided, all right, we're a duo now. And we both had albums done. So we were like, well, before the Blimes and Gab album comes out, we want to release these albums. So Hot Damn was on my album, and she had an album, and we did like a mini tour with our albums, and we got to play our albums at the same show together. It was like a Blimes show and a Gab show, and it was so fun. I love that. And we learned a lot from Redman and Method Man. You know, it's
Hmm.
so cool watching other duos do what they do. Um, and and then 1 month, after or 2 months after Come Correct went crazy viral and we started playing together, I dropped Hot Damn, and that one also went up, obviously. Shouts out Method Man. Anything he's attached to, people love.
Hmm.
And so that year really solidified my name in the music space. Not anymore the battle rap space, but the music space. And that's what I always wanted, you
Hmm.
know. That's what I always wanted, was to be a musician and make music. And so 2018 was the height of my career thus far. And Gab and I got a record deal and went on to tour the US and played festivals. We played Soundset. We met
Hmm.
Atmosphere, who then took us on tour in 2022, opening up for them.
So you said that that was the height of your career, and as a fan of yours, I gotta say, I don't look at it that way. But of course, everyone kind of. Wow, I'm having trouble getting to my notes here.
I'm
Um,
curious. I'm curious.
no,
Why do you say that?
well, it was my intro to you. I think I don't remember if I saw "Come Correct" first, the video, because that's kind of you're wearing like a retro jacket, right? Or coat of some
A
sort.
long pea coat.
Peacoat. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, I remember seeing that video and I was like, who are these people?
And that was the general public's question, was
Yeah,
like, who are these girls? Who
yeah,
are these women spitting like this? Like golden era rap music
yeah.
just coming out of these new two girls in 2020. Oh, that was 2018, you know?
Hmm.
So grateful
Damn.
for that. Made me so, and this, you'll probably appreciate this as a hip hop connoisseur and a rapper yourself. That made me
Former,
so
retired,
retired rapper.
retired,
I love it. Former, not former retired, a retired rapper. Maybe one day you'll be a formerly retired rapper. Maybe you'll
formerly
come back.
retired. Maybe.
But for now, just retired rapper. You'll appreciate this, is that it when that song went viral, it reinstilled my faith in the listeners, because I was like, oh, people do care about bars. People
Mm,
do care about
100%.
lyrics and content, and there's still a home for this stuff. So,
Hmm.
and then you have an MC like Dochi right now, who's so lyrical and so wonderful, and it just makes
Hmm.
me so happy to hear that that's, still being celebrated. So,
Yeah.
I was really I was juiced on that one doing well.
Yeah, the trajectory of hip hop and rap was like started with lyrics mattered, 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 right? And then it kind of plateaued. I don't know what happened, but people were like, I guess the party rap or I don't know, it just kind of took a back seat. The content of what the lyrics were just took a back seat, and but there's
the
still people
vibe
that
the vibe
yeah,
became the vibe became the forefront
yeah,
for
you're right,
people's attraction
100%.
to the music. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys capture the vibe of lyricism. Production is incredible. I don't even know who did the beat for Come Correct.
Mike Moe. He
Mike
lives in
Mo.
Portland, Oregon. Shouts out to Mike Moe, man.
Okay.
Thank you for being a part of something that changed our lives. If you hear this, Mike, we love you, man. Thank you. So
Is
grateful.
now how did you come across him? Was he a connection through
Gifted Gab.
Gab? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He had sent her beat packs, and we went through all the beats that she had available when we were in the session. And when we heard that intro with the piano and the kind of like strings starting over and over again, we are like, damn, that's the one. That's
Hmm.
undeniable. And that beat is so undeniable. Mike Mo, we couldn't have done it without you, man. Thank you.
Hmm. Now, did he do a lot of the production on the album you and Gab did together?
No, actually, the guys who produced Hot Damn, two brothers, Cameron and Louis Bartolini, the Bartolini brothers, who are contacts of mine from the Bay Area. They were in LA, and they ended up recording the whole Blimes and Gab album, and then producing most of it. We did have some production from Sean C and LV, from Bad Boy Records, and we're super honored to work with Sean. He's an incredible producer, an incredible songwriter, and we worked with him when we were in New York, and then we were able to put that record on the album. We worked with Chase Moore. We worked with the Roswell Collective, Roswell Universe, who's an amazing jazz group in LA. And yeah, some really talented artists. And yeah, it was pretty cool to bring in the guys that I had started my career with on an album that we were actually able to pay them their rates for,
Mm.
their real rates for with
Yeah.
with studio budget, with label budget. So that was really cool. And we wanted to make like a real ode to hip hop, so we included all of the Blimes and Gab album is called Talk About It if you're listening at home and want to listen to the album. But we included tons of skits because Gab and I are huge fans of like, you know, Ludacris is a big one for us, and we
Hmm.
love all the skits that Ludacris does.
Hmm.
And we wanted to keep that spirit of hip hop alive, you know,
And you
the
certainly
spirit that we
did.
grew up on. Thank
Certainly.
you.
And you continue to. Uh, so from there, you go to, I see earlier you said that you just have to keep, I guess, for lack of better words, pumping out singles or whatnot. You do a great job of that.
Thank you.
It seems like you'll put out an album like Castles, and then you put out a single, single, single. Um,
Thank
the
you. There was a lull.
sensual spin.
Yes.
Wow,
Like
that's a steamy record you got there.
it is.
And video. And
It
all
is.
the videos you do too, by the way. Very well done.
Thank
Very
you.
well done.
Thank you.
Produced just top quality, like every video I've done videos too, but not like to the quality that your stuff is. And I'm only saying this by comparison, low quality done right, but I don't know, like you said, the budget for Hot Damn was about a G, and
Yeah.
it looks like $1 million video.
Thank you. I was
Yeah.
I moved to Los Angeles at 21 years old, and started working in the film and TV industry. So I was lucky enough to work with some really talented people at a level where we were all starting out and hungry, and lucky enough to work with the director of that video, and the director of a few other of my videos, but also just have like an appreciation for cinema and production and know how to produce a project. The director of that video went on to shoot videos for Gab and I, Shelley's, and Baptism, started incorporating special effects in our videos. And so we were able to grow. And I think for any artist listening at home, like, meet somebody at the level that you're at and grow with them, and you like sky's the limit,
Hmm.
like you guys can accomplish anything together. And get you a DJ Turner, somebody that's, loves to make art,
Hmm.
loves is in it for the process, somebody that wants to create with you and is at a level where they can afford to build with you.
Hmm.
DJ came in and worked with us all the way until he moved to New Orleans a couple years ago. But yeah, and if I appreciate the shout about my visuals, I've just always really appreciated high quality everything, which has
Hmm.
been a detriment to my budget at moments.
Yeah.
But I love cinema. I love cinematic like visuals. Working with Andrew Imanaka, who did the Come Correct video, and he also did the Under My Skin video, which was one of the singles in between Castles and The Bridge. Um, Very cinematic eye.
Hmm.
Andrew has gone on to become a full-time bass player, which is awesome for him. I'm sure so much more fulfilling than being a cinematographer. But Andrew, if you ever want to shoot again, I would love to work with you. You're incredible.
Hmm.
Um, so
Now,
yeah,
are you like, do you come with the vision, or do you leave it up to them to, whoever's directing the video, doing the video, come up
often
with?
oftentimes I do have a vision.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have a vision. I worked with a friend named Sophie Tabet on the Un du Trois video for Gab and I, which is loosely based off of Pulp Fiction.
Hmm.
And she brought that idea to us, and that was incredible. That video was so fun to shoot. And then DJ brought a lot of ideas to us. I work with Zoo DeVille now a lot, and Zoo also shoots for Atmosphere a lot now, which is so cool because this network just you just get in and You never know where the tentacles are going to take you. And Zoo's
Mm-hmm.
tentacles, we took Zoo on tour with us with Atmosphere, Atmosphere being his favorite rap group of all time. And now he's Atmosphere's videographer and
Nice.
goes on tour with them. So Zoo shoots a lot of my stuff and I bring him ideas and that's just his personality. He's just more, um, you know, he's just more laid back. So he's just like, yeah, whatever you want to do, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it just depends who
Yeah.
I'm shooting
Who
with.
you're doing it with? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So all the singles after Castles up to the bridge. And now this is just something I noticed, and it might be like, what the fuck, Rob? Why? All the singles start with the letter S. Is there a reason for that, or is that just coincidence?
What the fuck, Rob? No, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you for noticing that and recognizing that accident started as an accident. And then I was like, you know what? We're just gonna roll with it.
Just roll with it.
And what that will tell you is that those singles were meant to be part of the album.
Oh, okay.
I I thought everything was gonna come out together, but as
Mhm.
Elijah and I moved towards the album being done, we were like, some of these songs really don't fit with the soundscape of the others. And Elijah and I, had started making far more um, soul-focused music and, more vocals, more singing,
Hmm.
and introducing some of that. And I was like, let's kind of draw the bridge, if we will, between the rapper Blimes and, the lead singer of Blimes and the Bando Blimes. Let's create that bridge. So with
Hmm.
the bridge, that's what we did was this is more in the direction of where we're going to go with Blimes and the Bando. It's not all the way in the direction of where we're going to go with Blimes and the Bando, as you will hear in our next three singles. Um, you're going to hear some songs that have zero rapping on them, but more in that direction. But yeah, thank you for noticing. So a lot of those S songs were meant to be on the same album, and
Sure.
it just started that way. I think a lot of S words are really popular, and then at one point I was like, now we got to keep them all
Yeah,
S.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad it wasn't coincidence and I'm not crazy because all the tracks on the bridge start with S too, and I was like, okay, this can't be coincidence. It just
No,
can't be.
no.
Uh, so
And my
that's
name's
cool.
Sam, so in a little self-celebratory moment, if I'm allowed it, I like to stay as
I think you've earned it by
level-headed
this
and
point. You've
humble
earned
as
it.
possible. I get to celebrate that letter S
Hmm.
in there. But yeah, so I appreciate that you said that I've been good at pumping out singles. There was a quiet period, and it was after the pandemic in 2021. I believe I wasn't able to release a lot of singles because during the pandemic I didn't focus on music. I didn't create new music. Um, I did one feature for my friend Call Me Stevie Ray, who's so sick. If you've ever heard that song, um, yeah, I woke up feeling grateful, grateful. Everything that I prayed for came so, it's like it's a popular Instagram song or TikTok song because it's
Hmm.
universal. But my friend Stevie Ray needed a feature from me during the pandemic, and that was the only music that I made that whole time. And it actually hurt me because, come 21, 22, I didn't have that round of new music to release. I got out of the cycle, out of the momentum as well, but I also, got out of the public eye a bit and as an artist at least. And so I wasn't able to keep up with the financial cycle of what we discussed earlier, which is like, you know, create, release, tour, merchandise.
Hmm.
So yeah, the last few years that's caught up with me and the the supplemental hustles have come back around and keeps me humble as hell because, I will go into the restaurant or wherever I'm working and, nobody there knows what I do and I serve you your food and I just say have a good day and carry on and it's quite a double life and a different life, but it definitely keeps me humble and grounded. The reminder that if I'm not, serving my creative purpose, then yeah, that's where I end up. And not to knock anybody that works in restaurants or the service industry or, with children or anybody that doesn't have a creative job. That's no diss at all. I'm just saying that I know what feels fulfilling to me,
Hmm.
and it's making music.
Right.
And if I don't treat it like a real job, like a profession, if I don't get up every day and put my hours in, I'm gonna lose the job. So
That's a good way to look at it. I like
thank you.
that because some people treat it like a hobby. Some people are okay with treating it like a hobby. You know, for the longest time, I was the duality of rapper, and I've been working in IT. I'm an IT guy. I've been working in IT for 25 years. And yes, I'm old.
IT
And
Rob,
IT Rob, yep, and he's old,
I
man.
bet you people love working with you. They're like, oh, my computer's down, but I get to talk to Rob again.
Right? Yeah, I hope
Dope.
so. I
You
hope so.
have you
You
have
know
one of
what's
those
funny about it
infectious
though?
personalities.
You know how many times I hear people like they'll say, "Oh, thank you, Rob," and I'm like, but they don't know. They don't
Right.
know. They're just saying it.
You're like, actually, that's my podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. ThankYouRob.com. Check it
Hmm.
out.
Check it out.
But I liked keeping them separate because I don't know for the longest time, and I think had I kept going, they would have merged, and I would have become like this IT rapper, right? Rapping about. There's got to be a market for that,
For
you
sure.
know, like maybe like a comedy rap, nerd. Well, there's definitely like what they call nerdcore or nerd hip hop, and yeah, maybe
I
the
mean,
two shall meet someday.
you
I don't
can
know.
always tell what a rapper's going through or what they're doing outside of rap by the metaphors that they use and the
Yeah,
similes that they use. You're like, oh, that
right.
rapper's a dad now. Or like, you know, that
You're
that
right,
rapper that
100%.
rapper's working in film and TV. She just said rendered, like yeah. So
Right. So I watched the Lord Far Squad. Is that how you say it?
Lord
Lord
Bar Squad
Far
Pod. Yeah.
Squad Pod. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Great, another great name. I mean, you find yourself in situations with people with great names, I gotta say.
I'm drawn to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Add thank you, Rob, to the list because that just sticks in your mind.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, but you had some encouraging words on there, and I reposted it on Instagram too, where you said, "Who are you to doubt yourself?" And sometimes, look, sometimes things are just so obvious, like to say something encouraging like that, but sometimes people just need to hear that, you know. Um, and for that day when you posted that, and I saw that clip, I don't even know how old that clip was, but uh, it just really resonated with me because looking back on life, I guess opportunities that were given or that you had to earn, you had to get out of your own way to do that, or don't doubt yourself, and just this goes back to your positivity too, where it's like people need to hear that stuff. And I appreciate that you said that, and it really, that particular day just really did it for me. Because
I'm so glad.
if anything, out of when people hear my podcast, watch my stupid unboxing videos, and just anyone can do this kind of stuff that I do. Not everyone can rap, but hey, you could try. How do you know if you can rap without trying?
I know for a fact that I cannot keep a through line that makes sense and wrap the video, start with points about an artist and wrap the video up with a little tie like you do. Not everyone can do it. You're really great at making those videos. Not everybody has the bandwidth to edit them in the ways that you do. So, you know, I hope you give yourself flowers more because I do
Oh,
think that you are utilizing a creative part of your brain. I do think that I think that there's a talent to what you do, and I think you're wonderful at it. When I watched
oh,
your
thank
unboxing
you.
video, I was like, whatever this guy needs, I'm down. Like Rob gets it. Rob has dedicated himself to this and put in the hours, and I'm here for it.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
here for your talent, man. It's really dope. So
Appreciate
your
that.
unboxing video is really refreshing. A lot of people do stuff without taking it seriously as well,
Yeah, yeah.
without caring about the quality of what they're putting out. And to somebody like me, the quality is really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, and really it just came together because I collect vinyl, and particularly if I can do something to support an artist like yourself, really it's just like what I'm doing is a matter of Like the next album I'm doing is an album by These Sacred Souls from San Diego.
So dope. They're
Yeah,
so incredible.
yeah. All I want to do is spread the word of good music,
Thank you,
because
Rob.
and that is, of course, my opinion of what good music is. Everyone has their own taste, and I'm just doing what I can to support.
You're doing great. And
Even if one person comes across that video is like, "Who the hell is Blimes?" And
which they did. They commented. I had
yeah,
no idea who this was.
okay,
And
nice.
I was
Wait, hey,
like,
my job is done. My
hey,
job is
nice to
done.
meet you. I'm Blimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
thank you so much, Rob, for real.
Nice. Yeah, okay, I did see that comment on there. That's
Yeah.
nice. Thank you for doing that. Um, so anyways, let's get back to you. This isn't about me. I talk about me all the time
I get so sick of talking about myself. But yes, okay. I know
because
that that's why
as a
we're here.
fan, first and foremost as a fan, I want to hear and learn more about the Bando. There's a video, there's a song, there's a single called "So K,"
It's okay.
and it's a banger, of
It's
course.
okay.
But
We're back to
you
dance
get a little
like,
bit of the rapping, you get a little bit of the singing,
yeah.
and I'm excited to hear more.
Thank you. We're
What's the
still
plan?
bridging the gap there with that single, and I think that's why I was excited to drop that one first. Because there is rapping on it. Um, the plan is reach as many people as possible. The
Hmm.
plan is make as many people in this world feel good as possible and dance like it's okay, even if it's only for a moment. I
Hmm.
don't want to bypass how hard things are. I don't want to bypass how crazy the political landscape is of our country right now,
Hmm.
and how scary or hard that is for people, or not. But I'm one of the people that's pretty terrifying for, and I don't want to bypass that. Like, not everything is okay all the time, but if for a few moments we can make you forget about the crazy shit that's going on out there, and we can all come together in a room and we can dance like it's gonna be okay.
Hmm.
We can find some joy in between, figuring out how we're gonna move forward.
Hmm.
Then we've done our job. So the bando is here to make you feel good. The plan for us is to we have 3 records right now done. We are creating a new album as well. Drop a few singles for you, give you a taste of some of the flavors that we have, because there's many flavors. There's incredible artists in this band that have all different backgrounds. Um, you have May on the bass, who is a classically trained bassist guitarist, and she can also sing operatically. Very talented, incredible musician. And then you have Curtis Bird on the drums, who has played in more bands than I can even count, has toured the world, uh, big scale, small scale, independent scale. He's probably playing 4 gigs a week, if not more, 5, 6 maybe. And he's lent his time and efforts to us. He just recorded all his drums for these tracks. And then you got Benny Grape on the keys and the saxophone, and he's young, fresh out of school, music school, moved from the East Coast, hungry. He really holds this kind of he definitely holds this hunger for the group that inspires us all to remain as hungry as he is, which I really love.
Hmm.
Um, Elijah Gray, who was in a group back in the Bay Area called Drop City Yacht Club. And they had a song called Crickets with Jeremiah that I believe went platinum, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and he's a retired rapper, and now producer and incredible guitar player. And he's who I made a lot of these singles leading up to the bridge with, and then he produced half of the bridge, and now he's producing all the records for Blimes and the Bando and playing lead guitar in the front. So you have these backgrounds, these diverse backgrounds, all coming together to make these records. And my father's a blues musician. My grandfather was a jazz musician. I like to sing. I happen to be better at rapping, I believe, but I enjoy singing.
Hmm.
And if I learned one thing from, you know, 60s and 70s, it's that you don't have to be good at singing. You just have to be passionate about singing. With some of the bigger artists of that time. Um, and so I'm really excited to be singing more. Definitely studying though, taking vocal lessons and learning technique. Um, yeah, the music is exciting.
Yeah.
We have a bluesier song. We definitely have more soul inspired song to come. Um, and my favorite part about being a rapper is that my pen is sharp, so I get to apply those bars to songwriting, no matter
Hmm.
what kind of songs I'm making. So, yeah, I think we just we want to reach the people and let everyone know that like you're loved, you're accepted, unless you're doing some sus shit. Don't do sus shit. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a hater. And we love you.
Hmm.
So that's Blimes and the Bando's whole thing. And everybody in the group has this attitude, this positive outlook on life, and this excitement for what we do. And um, I'm just grateful to be working with such talented musicians. I think it takes a huge load off of my shoulders to know that the responsibility doesn't just lie on me anymore alone,
Hmm.
and I have people that I'm doing it with. And we're starting in the trenches, with those low
Hmm.
numbers on our Spotify monthly listeners and those low numbers on our social media and going to, distributors, and we're going to record labels, and we're going to agents, and we're new, so we're
Yeah,
really
yeah,
in the trenches.
yeah.
I have history as Blimes, but this is a whole new thing. So I
Is it is
expect
there is there
really
a one
good things.
sheet anymore? Do people do one sheets?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a
Okay.
one sheet
Still got
for
it. Okay.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got a
Nice.
one sheet, website, all the good stuff. And
Hmm.
we do have some incredible connections in the industry, and that I believe sky's the limit for the bando. I
Hmm.
think we just need to suit up and show up.
Hmm.
So putting out music is the first step to that. And
Right.
like
Right.
I wanted to hoard these songs because I'm like, wait, these songs deserve so many more resources. Songs deserve high budget music videos, and these songs deserve a tour.
Hmm.
But like that's not how you get recognized. That's not how you get the resources. You get the resources by putting out the music. If
Hmm.
you build it, they will come.
Right.
I heard from a
Yes.
movie that I really enjoy once. And so we are building it, and we hope that you all come. You're invited.
We all
Every
have a field of dreams.
We do. This is
Uh,
ours.
and your approach to the band is like with it's not the traditional band. I love that it's not just a drummer, guitar player, bass player, right? And the singer. I love that you got the keyboard player, you got the horns, and it's just that little bit of difference and that makes it more unique, you
Thank
know.
you.
So you're winning right there already.
Thank you, Rob.
Um,
You should play a game with your with your guests. How many times can they naturally get thank you, Rob in there? Should do like a thank you, Rob counter
oh
on
wow,
the corner of the screen.
yeah,
That'd be fun.
I could do that. I could throw that in there. I got to go through this whole thing again.
Or a drinking game.
Drinking game.
Yeah,
Do you
to those
drink?
to those who drink. I do occasionally.
Okay.
I took a break from it for a long time.
Okay.
I really enjoyed sober lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from it. And I love recovery, and I love the messages of recovery, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still in recovery in other areas of my life, and I'm so grateful for it. Um, I don't know that alcohol was the issue for me, but it definitely became um, a little bit of a solution for some other issues that I've been able to uncover from becoming sober. So I was sober for 5 years, and it was a wonderful experience, and you know, um, I wouldn't change that. And, now I occasionally partake and I enjoy it.
Good.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've
I try my
done
best.
just out of like so if I go to the doctor, the
Hmm.
doctor's like, you should be doing more cardio for your heart health, right?
Right.
I'll be like, you got it, doc, right?
Right.
So I'm hitting the treadmill. You're a runner, right?
Yeah, I am.
You run?
Yeah.
Um,
Not very fast, but I do it.
right, and neither do I. Right. I'm a treadmill runner. You run outside, right?
Both. This
Oh,
morning I was in the gym on the treadmill,
okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, but I prefer it outside.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't like running
Hmm.
unless I'm being chased.
Hmm.
We're already running out of time. 10 minutes. We're gonna
Look
wrap
at us
this up in
go.
10 minutes.
Sure thing, sure thing.
The point I was making. Oh yeah, I put my treadmill in front of a TV, so it's like, bam, I'm watching
Perfect.
Netflix, I'm watching YouTube stuff. Keeps you going.
It does.
Um, but the point of it was, the doctor was like, how often do you drink? And I'm like, I'm the literally like one beer a month kind of guy, right?
Okay,
And I
yeah,
know
you're
people
really
say that,
occasional.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and he was like, I feel like when you say something like that to a doctor, they're like, yeah, right, okay, so We're being honest here. Either way, I told him, you know what, I'm going to not drink for a year and see what this does, you know? So I didn't
Yeah,
drink for a year, and I went with, on a weekend. We do like this guys' weekend with some friends from high school,
really cool.
and they drink, right? This is like a drinking weekend, but Rob's not drinking, right? Rob was smoking a little that weekend, but I wasn't drinking. It's just not the same experience, you know. When you
Yeah,
smoke weed, you want to relax, you want to laugh at stuff, right? Maybe I was more annoyed than anything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So all I can say is, if you're in recovery, don't you don't put yourself in situations where you feel like you need to be drinking to have a good time.
Right.
You know, and that's a key. I'm sure you know that. I'm not a
No, no.
professional.
I think it's really helpful. There's like some early in sobriety tips, you know. It's like don't drive past the old spots and don't hang out with the old characters and keep some candy in your pocket because sweets can help you,
Ah,
curb cravings, stuff like that.
sure.
And I think that's true. And in recovery, you can learn how to be in those situations,
And
and have a
control
good
it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah.
like to be able to go anywhere. Obviously, you know, in the beginning, even first year, like that's a lot. I remember going to play a show in Vancouver in my first year, early first few months of sobriety, and I was so uncomfortable. And it really opened my eyes to how socially uncomfortable I am and how much I needed to work on being able to be in a setting where I don't know people or I don't know many people
Hmm.
and be comfortable. And how am I going to do that? And a little tip for people out there who might struggle with this, and maybe not if everybody's wasted, right? Like in the situation that you are in where everybody's wasted. That's pretty annoying. Like I noticed that wasted people tend to like annoy me when I'm sober, right?
Right. Yeah.
But like, is here's a little tip is like, how can I go into this room and find out more about the people than I talk about myself? How can I, you know, let me set a goal to go into this room and meet four new people
Hmm.
and see what excites them. And if I give myself kind of a task for where I am, then it makes it easier. I'm less in my head. And honestly, like when I'm just talking about myself, it's because I'm, you know, self-conscious. If I'm just talking about myself the whole time, it's because I'm like, this is who I am and please like me and, please love me. And if I'm just asking people about themselves, then I have this opportunity to learn from people that are not me. And
Hmm.
um, you know, I think when you inquire about people, they feel good. When you want to know something
For
about
sure.
somebody, like that feels good. So, yeah, I kind of reframed it, to how can I be of service to this room when I walk in, or how can I be of service in every conversation that I have? And that made it a lot easier for me to be in those situations.
Good. That's good.
Yeah,
It's all about growing yourself too. Yeah.
totally.
And
Totally.
you seem to continue be growing.
Thank you.
Did I say that right?
To
You seem
continue
to continue to grow. How about
to grow.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I
And
love
that
growth.
reminds me of the seeds that you send with the personalized signed albums. That the personalization of the whole thing is just super cool.
Thanks.
You know, people appreciate that stuff, and I'm definitely one of them. And
Thank
we
you.
will plant those seeds in the
After the
garden
winter.
this year. Yes, yes.
Is it snowing there yet?
We got snow the other day, but it the ground's still warm, like an inch, but it melted like the next day.
I spent most of 2020 in Minneapolis during the
Okay,
pandemic. And
that's right. Yeah, you were there during the George Floyd thing, right?
yeah. hmm
Damn. Wow.
I yeah, that was
Shit got hot.
a time. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, it was a crazy time, and hopefully we never have to experience that again. But
There's
you were like
things are
staying somewhere
brewing.
near there,
Yeah, I was in Uptown.
uptown. Okay.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Uptown for a lot of that time and I really love Minneapolis. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I daydream about moving there. Um
Hey, we'd
far
love
more
to have you. We'd love to
yeah,
have you.
far more affordable than California.
I don't know how people do it out there. Seriously.
I'm
That's
not.
crazy.
I'm not okay.
You're not okay.
Help.
Hey, another reason to buy Blimes music right
Thank
there.
you. Thank
Support.
you.
Support.
Thank you.
Where do you want people to go to buy your music to support you? Where do you prefer them going? And please say
So,
Bandcamp.
yeah, Bandcamp. Love Bandcamp. I'm not always the greatest at keeping it updated. I believe the Bando's new single is on Bandcamp under a different profile than Blimes. I believe it's under Blimes and the Bando. So okay is up on Bandcamp. You can also purchase it on iTunes or Apple Music. You can stream the hell out of it if you're also on streaming services. We will probably release some type of physical media. We want to be really in touch with our fans. So we will create some sort of community space for us to all chat and keep you guys updated on stuff. But the social media for Blimes and the Bando is at Blimes and the Bando, BLIMES, and the Bando, BANDO. If you give that page a follow on all social media, that'd be huge for us. We need it. And then my page is Blimes Brixton on everything: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I do have clear vinyls that Rob was so kind to do an unboxing of my last project, The Bridge. And those are available on my Shopify. I believe it's like blimes.shopify, or if you go to my Instagram, there's a link in my bio and they're there.
Links are there.
You can find it. So yeah, houseofblimes.com is my website, and blimesandthebando.com is the Blimes and the Bando website. So those are two general places that you can find everything. So
all right.
Thanks, Rob.
Well, thank you, Blimes, for doing this. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we could finally make this happen.
Me too.
I know I'm trying to respect your time here, and then I know that you're busy. And I want to remind people to go to thankyourob.com, where I will have links to everything you just said there, and for this video and for the podcast itself too. So if you're listening on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts rather, or Spotify, or however you listen to podcasts, there's in the episode description, there will be links there. Click it, buy stuff, love it. You won't be let down. Thank you, Blimes. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob. It's been lovely.
So that's Blimes. Big major shout out to Blimes again for doing the interview. Can't appreciate it more. She is just such a positive person and makes incredible music. And I can't stress it enough. Please check her out if you're into hip hop, rap, and her new band stuff is incredible. Go to thankyourob.com. Check out my unboxed videos. It's a good time. Plus, I get out my machete and I cut shit open. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you. Spread love. Give hugs, handshakes, and high fives.